Hello everybody, it's Oak Tree Tarot Reader here and welcome to my pick a card video. So, jobs, that's what we're doing today. You're applying for jobs and you want to know if you're going to get it. And I think that's the position for an awful lot of people in the world today. Everybody's searching for new jobs, better paid jobs, more interesting jobs, or just simply to get one. But you have been, and hopefully this will give you some insight into what's going on behind the scenes that you can't because of your job application. You know, you fill out the form, you send off your CV, and then you just have to wait. And sometimes they let you know. I think that really annoys me is when they don't actually give you feedback or they don't actually say, I'm sorry, you were unsuccessful. They just sort of ignore the fact that you applied. I think that's very frustrating. So I'm hoping this will ease your way and sort of help you relax a bit about the situation. Now, I'm aware that a lot of you are going to be applying for lots of different jobs. So what I want you to do is not think broadly, am I going to get a job? I mean, you can if you want. You just have to adapt what I'm saying. But the way I've designed this reading is that you're there thinking specifically about a particular job that you have applied for. And you're there thinking, am I going to get this job? That specific job. If you've applied for a few different jobs that you would like, you can, of course, think about them individually. I'm aware there's only 3 options here, so if you want me to do another video so that you've got more choice, I'm more than happy to do that. Leave me a comment in the comment section, of course. Where else would you leave it? But what I would recommend is that you make your choice. Like, say if you're applying for 3 different jobs, ask each question and then listen to them, because you don't want to sort of listen to one and think, well, I'll prefer to hear that for the other job that I applied for. Do you know what I mean? I don't want you to know basically what the reading is before you've made your choice. So I want you to close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, relax and clear your mind and your energies. Then I want you to think about your one particular job that you've applied for. And I want you to remove all desires from the question or fears from the question. Anything that would influence the answer, I want you to remove. And then ask yourself the question, will I get this job? Or will I be offered this job? However you phrase it, it doesn't matter. It's the intention behind the question that matters. And when you feel that you have an answer, you should be guided to one of the 3 options. Option 1 on the left, option 2 in the middle, and option 3 on the right. 1, 2, 3. If you need a bit more time to do this, then please press pause. But when you have made your choice, click on one of the timestamps provided, and I shall see you at your reading. Okay, so your number 1s, you've chosen this option about whether you are going to get this job. I want to plug my job whilst we're here, and that is tarot reading. So if you want a private reading, you can contact me at oaktreetarotreader@gmail.com. All the information you need is in the description box. If this is because this is a timeless video, it doesn't matter when you watch it, it's still relevant. If from your perspective this is an old video, still go ahead and send me an email and ask me what my up-to-date details are, if you know, or check my most recent video. But I have a long list of price list from expensive to cheap. So whatever your price range, I'm here to help you, and I don't mind what the question is, whether it's to look in depth at any blocks you might have in your career, or any money blocks you might have, or relationship, love, whatever. I can help you with your particular circumstances, and I'm more than happy to do that. So yeah, just send me an email, let me know what you want, and we will take it from there. But now on to your free reading. Now remember that it's possible that not all areas of this will resonate with you completely. That's fine. Just take what makes sense to you and leave aside the things that don't make sense to you. That's why these are general, and private readings are more specific because it will be tailored for you. So what I've done actually is split it up into two. This is, will you get an interview for the job? Because I obviously don't know whether you've just sent the application form off or you've actually completed an interview. So if you haven't really had an interview yet, this is, are you going to get an interview? And this is, are you actually going to get the job? So if you've already had an interview and you've completed it, you can ignore this part if you want, or maybe you can take it as a bit of a sign of how the interview went from your employer's perspective. So will you get an interview? So we've got the Queen of Pentacles, Five of Cups, and the Six of Wands. Okay, so actually I'll read this as two ways. Is that actually some of you are like, no, you're not going to get an interview, but others of you are. So from my perspective, that's quite interesting. Why am I getting two conflicting messages? I think some of you think you're not going to get an interview. I think you've sent it off and you're thinking it's not going to happen. There's a bit of negative thinking there. Maybe you've applied for a lot of jobs and it's really not panned out for you. But I think actually you are, or at the very least it's not going to happen in the way that you think. That maybe you've applied for a job and you don't get an interview in this first round, but it might be that in the future, when you've sort of a bit more self-sufficient, you're less concerned about this job, that all of a sudden the employers contact you and said, you sent this really good application form, we'd like you to come for an interview for a different role, or maybe their original candidate didn't work out very well. This does happen, that sometimes employers hire someone who they think's the good option, and then it doesn't work out. And then they fall back on their original applicants and ask them to come back for an interview. Because we have got the Six of Wands, which is victory. So I think that there is going to be a victory somewhere. The other option is that the job that you are thinking of when you ask this question, no, you're not going to get an interview. But in fact, you get an interview for a different job. So if you've been applying for lots of different jobs and you're thinking, oh, but I was really keen on this one, maybe not this one, but one of the other jobs that you are applying for could well come up trumps. Yeah. So I do feel that somewhere it's just not going to be exactly what you want to hear, but then something else comes along and you're like, woohoo, I don't really care about that not working out. This makes me feel good. This just speaks to me as, yeah, you will get an interview. So, will you get the job? So you've had the interview, or you're just carrying on and you want to know whether, you know, you have an interview or not, will you get the job? Ace of Chalices, the Moon, and the King of Atames. I mean, that looks really good to me because it's like your heart is overflowing and full of love and possibility. We've got the Moon, which is things that are hidden and subconscious. So at the moment, obviously you don't know, there's a lot hidden from you, but you have a really good chance. And I would say sort of, yeah, the King of Atames, it's somebody's evaluating your application. He's looking at the paperwork. He's perhaps reviewing your interview. And he's looking at it with a favourable eye. I mean, I do think that for a lot of you, you've got to accept that energies change. So at this moment in time, you've got a really good chance of getting this job, or for someone else is you will get employment. And again, for the Moon with the subconscious, I'm leaning towards a lot of you, if not all of you watching this video, that you will get a job, but not necessarily the one that you're thinking about when you ask this question. So it's like you've applied for it, you maybe had the interview, but it's not this job you're going to get. But don't panic, you are going to get another one. Because I'm just leaning towards this subconscious. And I think you're going to be happy with what you get. Your angel answers to give you an extra bit of information. Do I have to say anything? There's something better. And I said that because of these conflicting images of happiness unknown, and sort of logical knowing the truth. Yeah, I just get this feeling, well, that's confirmed it, but there's something better. I think you're not going to get this job, but there's another job that's better for you that you're going to be happier with. Trying to think there's something else. I mean, I would say just keep applying. If you're not, just keep applying. There's something out there for you, and you're going to be really happy to get this job and really enjoy it. And it's better for you. So, I mean, some of you, I'm looking there thinking, are you applying for the right jobs? Are you looking too low? Because I think sometimes we do that we go for the low-hanging fruit when it comes to a job, even though there's possibly we could do better. When we just want to get a job, because it's easier to get a job when you're in a job, isn't it, really? But if you've been out of work for a long time, don't let what I've just said put you down. You are going to get a job. It doesn't seem to be this one. I think the other job that you're going to actually get, it's like the university saying, no, you're applying for this job, but no, we don't want you to go there. We want you to go in this direction. So it might be a job, you create for yourself. You might be a bit of self-employment that you push something on the side. Like maybe you're applying for jobs, but you're doing other things, like YouTube channels, trying to get a bit of ad revenue, or you're doing writing and self-publishing, or whatever it is, or you're just sort of making things or doing things, helping people around, delivering things, you know what I mean. You're doing that on the side, and it's saying that you've got this and that's going to work out better for you than these jobs you keep applying for. But keep going, apply for the jobs, keep working on the side to get yourself a bit of an extra income. And, don't give up. Just keep moving forward, because you are going to win out. You have got the Six of Wands, which is always, to me, the victory card. Even if things just don't appear like they're going to pan out, even if you're like crying at night because you're so worried about money, and you're just not sure where it's going to come from, or, how you're going to pay the bills, just don't feel anguish and fear and grief. Just think, how am I going to recover from this? Because every origin story has a tragedy in it. So this is just the jumping point for you to become even better, because there is something better. So I'm going to leave that there for you. It's saying you might get the job, but actually there's something better. So don't panic if you don't, or if you start working at this job, keep carrying on looking, because there is something better for you. But I am leaning towards, no, you're not going to get this job, but don't panic. You will get one of the others and you'll be better off. So I'm going to leave that there for you. Again, contact me if you want a private reading. Otherwise, I'm going to and buy my Learn Tarot book. My link is in the description box, along with my Twitter and Instagram and all that. So join me there and help me make my Learn Tarot, Learn the Cards and How to Read Them an absolute tarot bestseller. You can say I was one of the first people to download her ebook, or my audiobook version, which is near completion. So you take care of yourself. Thank you for listening to my rabbling on, and goodbye. Okay then, those of you that chose number 2, this is your reading. Before we get started, I want to plug my job, and that is tarot reading. So if you want a private tarot reading, you can get one from me. Send me an email at oaktreetarotreader@gmail.com. The information you need is in the description box. I have a wide range of prices and options for you to choose from. It doesn't matter what your issue is, I will help you. So please send me an email. I also want to remind you of expanding my empire into ebooks. I've written a book, Learn Tarot, Learn the Cards and How to Read Them. Again, the link to the book on Amazon is in the description box. And at the moment of recording, which I'm positive will be completed by the time most of you see this video, is I'm doing an audiobook version. So if you're the sort of person that likes to listen on your commute to work, keep an eye out for the information, because I'm literally just recording the last sort of 20 minutes or so, and then I've got to edit out all my coughs and stumbling over of words before I can actually put it on Audible. That's been a challenge. So yeah, have a look out for that. Have a look for the little advert that I'm going to do to promote it, and yeah, keep an eye on it, and let me know if you want a tarot reading. I'm really very nice. So onwards to your free tarot reading, and that's this job. You've applied for the job. and you want to know you're going to get it. So remember, this is the energies of now. Anything's subject to change. This is what's sort of going on at the moment with your job application. I've split it into two because obviously I don't know whether you've had an interview or anything yet. So this is, will you get an interview for this job? And these cards are, will you get the job? So if you've had an interview already, you can either skip past this bit or listen to it and think of it as sort of, how did the interview go? Just change what I say. So we've got Knight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. I mean, that speaks to me as like, yes, you are going to get an interview. I mean, an interview doesn't guarantee you the job. It's an interview. But I think you might have to wait a while. Like, sometimes jobs say, we're going to let you know by X date. And then they don't, and you think, well, that's it. And then you suddenly get an email popped up from them, and it turns out they've had 3 times as many applicants as they thought, and it's taken them that long to work their way through them. So they, it might be a delay on you getting an email from them inviting you for an interview, you know. So don't panic if you don't hear as quickly as you would like. We've also got the King of Pentacles, which I just see as a positive card of like someone sitting there in judgment waiting, you know, to hear. So it's like the interview panel it reminds me of. And the Hierophant is the group. So this just does speak to me that yes, you will get an interview for this formal position in this usual way. So just yes, you will get an interview. And I think if you had an interview already, they saw you as a sturdy, steady, worthy prospect, that you're certainly eligible for this job. So will you get the job? Queen of Pentacles. God, there's lots of Pentacles energy here. The High Priestess. Ten of Pentacles. I mean, yeah, it just feels really solid and secure to me. The Queen of Pentacles, she's sitting there. She's happy. She's got the goods, really. She's harvested the nuts and she's got the pentacle. She's sort of provided and got everything that she needs. The High Priestess is someone that expresses her knowledge. She's a practitioner of the secret arts. She's just somebody who has inner knowledge and quietly works on it. And the Ten of Pentacles is the happy, provided for family. This just speaks to me of having a good wage. I think, yeah, for a lot of you, you're likely to get this job. I mean, I never say absolute because, as I say, things change. But this just looks all solid and sturdy. Like, you're a really good candidate. You've got a really good chance of getting this job because it's also solid. And the Hierophant and the High Priestess, the 2 major arcana cards, are all about knowledge and showing off, sort of expressing and practicing your craft, your knowledge, and living within that knowledge. So it's like you knew your stuff, you know your stuff, you're a good candidate. See what your angels say. Success. Success. Yeah, I think you're like the number 1 candidate. So far, at this moment in time of you watching it, you are the number 1 candidate that they are looking as as the one that they'd like to choose. Good for you. So, there's no more to say. Sometimes the cards just come out and say it. So that is it for you. You are the likely candidate. So this is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please help me by liking the video and subscribing and leaving me nice comments. Let me know how it resonated with you. And all the best, all the good luck in the world. Please take care of yourself. Thank you for listening to me, and goodbye. So, number 3s, this is your reading. Are you going to get the job? I want to plug my job, which is tarot reading. So if you're interested in getting a private reading from me, I've got a good price list from very expensive to cheap. So whatever your price range is, there'll be something there for you. And I'm adaptable on, your questions, what area, we'll cover anything. I'm very friendly. Just send me an email at oaktreetarotreader@gmail.com and I will get right back to you and we will work out exactly what you need, and go from there. I'm more than happy to help. And I also want to plug my new book that I published last month, Learn Tarot, Learn the Cards and How to Read Them. It's going to be a big bestseller in the tarot section of Amazon. So you do your bit and contribute and buy it, and then leave me a 5-star review. Thank you very much. No, seriously, I really enjoyed doing it. I decided I would do an audiobook version, and I'm very close to completing it. So because this is a timeless reading, and this might be quite far in the future from my perspective, it's obviously now from yours. Have a look to see if this audiobook's available, and you should be able to get it from Audible. I'm going to do a nice advert when it's available. And I'd like to ask you to help me out, because the algorithm's sort of dumping my videos into no man's land. They're getting barely any views compared to what they used to. So if you could help by liking the video, sharing it, subscribing, leaving me comments, doing all the things so that YouTube, the algorithm, knows that it's a great video that many people should be watching, which is the absolute truth. So thank you for listening to my warbling on. I'm now going to move on to your reading and what you're here for. You're going to get this job. So what I've done is set it into 2 readings, because I don't know exactly, split the reading into 2 sections, because I don't know whether you've had an interview or not. So this is, are you going to get an interview? And this is, are you going to get the job? So if you've already had an interview, you can either skip past this bit or see what kind of impression that you made in the interview. So we've got the Lovers. That's good. 6 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. I think basically what's happening at the moment is that they're looking at your application to see if you're compatible with what they want and who they are as a team. And they're weighing it up. They're balancing it out. They're sort of saying, oh, they've got these qualities, but on the negative side, they're missing something, or we don't really need that. They've emphasised different points. You know what I mean? But I think actually what they're going to do is take a chance on you and give you an offer of an interview. So I think the answer is yes, they are. They are going to give you an interview, but they've put a lot of thought into it. So I'm not going to say it was a straight away, yeah, interview person. I think it's more like, maybe they're going to come 3rd or 4th in the list, but we want to, interview 12 people, so we're going to add them on. Not to say that you are not worthy of this job, you are, and you are a great candidate. But I think you know what you mean. When there's 12 superb, equally matched candidates, they get nitpicky. And I imagine in today's climate that they are getting a ton of applicants. So don't feel disheartened in any way. You are getting an interview. And of course, once they meet you in this interview, they're going to realise how fabulous you are and immediately snap you up. And let's see if the cards agree with me. Are you going to get the job? The Lord of Shadows, so that's Death. The Star, I like this. The King of Wands. I'm going to say yes, you are a really good candidate. It's a really, really good chance that you're going to get this job. Really good chance. Because I think you have the interview, and what happens in the interview has changed their impression of you. So they're looking and thinking, oh, this will be something, maybe you're a breath of fresh air. Maybe you have different qualities that they hadn't thought of as being relevant to the role that you are applying for. Maybe there's something there and they're thinking, well, actually that would really pan out if someone like that was on the team. They're going to add fresh blood. They're going to have brand new ideas, because maybe this is something different to whatever you've never applied for a job like this before. Maybe you've worked in a similar field but not quite, and you've taken a punt, you've taken a chance in applying for this job because it's something so completely different but similar at the same time, so you can adapt the skills that you have to that workplace, if I'm making any sense. And I think they're charmed by it. They're really hopeful. They're like, oh, this is brilliant. This is something new and vibrant and diverse, and that you're really going to add something to this job, and that you're a star candidate, really. And the King of Wands is somebody, look how pleased he is. He's a master of his domain, his world. Everything's on fire, everything's warm and glowing and well tended. He's like the boss. So this just speaks to me as, yeah, they are going to offer you the job. You are going to get it. So let's see what your angels say. take action. So I'm not sure why they're telling you to take action. Is this a job you're thinking of applying for? In which case, apply for it. Or you're yet to send off the application form. Maybe you're frightened you'd never get it, or you'd not be a worthy candidate. Well, you are. But in some way, you haven't taken action, and so the message is to take action. Obviously, what that is depends on you. So that's your reading. I hope that it's helped you. I hope that it's given you some confidence. Yep, that's it. You take good care of yourself. I wish you all the best of luck in your job hunting, and thank you very much for listening to me and my long ramble, and goodbye.